Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical, visual and audio elements that I pull out of the videos that I watch. And today we're going back to Voctave, and I am going to be watching their cover, I guess maybe multiple cover, their Sisters Medley, which I assume will have several songs in it, being a medley. And I'm really excited for this one. I know a fair amount of Andrew Sisters music. I grew up with my grandparents, and they used to listen to Vera Lynn, the Andrew Sisters, like a whole host of singers and performers from that day. Glenn Miller, I expect to hear a chunk of Glenn Miller music in this. That would not surprise me. You know, all folks like that, and I loved it. I've always had a passion for swing music. I think it's absolutely fantastic. One of my greatest sort of musical memories was playing with the swing band at school. I used to play baritone sax, and it was just so much fun because that music is infectiously enjoyable at all times. Sorry, I'm just checking my microphone. Let's turn that up a tiny bit. It is infectiously enjoyable at all times, and I have had a passion for it ever since. I haven't listened to the Andrew Sisters in quite a long time. I've sort of been listening to other swing, and, you know, musical taste has shifted and all that kind of stuff, but this is kind of ingrained in me somewhere, so I'm sure I will recognize most of what's here. The Andrew Sisters, in case you don't know them, were a trio, Laverne, Maxine and Patricia. They were active from the mid-20s to mid-60s, late 60s, something like that. They started out, I think the youngest, I think I said those in order, so Patricia, I think she was 7 when they started performing. It was a very young musical family anyway, and they made a mark throughout, you know, the World War II, before, after. They were fantastic performers, and yeah, you know, some of their songs are legendary at this point. I will eat my hat, not that I'm wearing one right now, but I will eat it if Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy is not in this arrangement somewhere, because that is the song they're probably the most famous for. It was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song in 40, I think. 1940, yeah, 1940. Because it was in Buck Privates with Abbott and Costello. And it lost out to something by Rodgers and Hammerstein. No, Jerome Kern and Hammerstein from Lady Be Good. I forget the name of the song right now. I will put a note right here with it. But they are so prolific. They've recorded hundreds of songs. They've sold millions of records, tens of millions of records. I did have a quick glance. They had 46 top 10 Billboard hits. I just thought I'd see, you know, obviously they've been in the top 10 at some point, you know, a couple of songs here and there. No, 46 times, which is just incredible. And yeah, their music is phenomenal, and I have a feeling that Jamey is going to do something awesome with this. This is a slightly older video, 2019. I've seen a couple more recent Voctave videos, so nice to go back and see something older. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do, because Voctave is invariably great, and my ears are in for a treat. Before we jump in, I will say welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way I work, I'm going to watch this through from beginning to end, commenting and emoting over the top, and then I will go back and watch it a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can based on what I've just seen and heard, and the foreknowledge of having seen it that one time before. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would care to support the channel, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. And a list of those who are on my Patreon, subscribe to my Patreon, will be up at the end of the video. I think that's everything. Also, this is my birthday recording. I guess I may as well say that. It's being recorded a very short while afterwards. It's been just over a week. Yeah, this is me. I wanted to find something that meant something to me, and not something in the way of the Music That Inspired Me series, but something that really, you know, a full-length song that was something I would do a reaction on that meant something to me, and this seemed like a really good choice. So, yeah. That's that. I think that's everything. So without any further delay, let me bring up the video, and this is going to be Voctave covering a medley of songs by the Andrew Sisters. Of course, in the mood. Who's the loving daddy with the beautiful eyes?
What a pair of lips, I like to try.
Oh, just the ladies, I like it. That makes total sense.
Baby, won't you swing it with me? Hope he tells me maybe what a wing it will be. So I said politely, darling, may and true. He said, don't keep me waiting when I'm in the mood. First I held him lightly and we started to dance. Then I held him tightly, what
Nice.
a dreamy romance. And I said, baby, it's 2:45.
Love the humor.
Why won't you share it with me? Well, he answered, baby, don't you know that it's rude to keep my tuna flame when they're in the mood? In the mood.
No, yes. I wondered if they do that. What a beautiful entry. Oh, lovely. I love this song.
Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
Ooh, nice. I like the higher range for the guys. That works. Ah, I just love all this music. Different composition for Voctave than I'm used to.
Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow. Now you're singing with a swing.
Nice.
Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow. Now you're singing with a swing. When the music goes around, everybody goes to town. But here's something you should know.
This is all so just effervescent. Oh, lovely.
To say on a drinking rum and Coca-Cola. He was a famous trumpet.
There we go.
Out Chicago way. He had a boogie sound that no one else
That was
could
cute.
play.
I like
He was
that.
the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blower reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because
The pitch work, keeping the men high, blends so well with the ladies. That's great.
Because the next to the cap went out and dropped to the bed. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He puts the boys to sleep with Boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bride. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, he really breaks it up. When he plays reveille, he's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A root, a toot, a tooty, a toot. He blows an eight to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note.
I like what he's done with the rhythm there. Ooh. Yes! Yes, we love that. Nice little play out. That's phenomenal! I really, really like great song choices for a start, but I really, really like the arrangement there. That was a lot of fun. I feel like they've done, I say this a lot with videos recently, but they've done a lot to kind of truly recognize where the music came from, but also made it into a Voctave arrangement. And I really, really like that. I think that's the most interesting kind of cover for me. I don't want to hear someone, oh, no, that's a lie. Sometimes I enjoy it, but more often than not, I prefer not to hear someone just replicate the original. I'd like to hear them take it and say, this is my version. And that they did a great job with that. I think they chose some really, really nice music there. In the Mood, of course, one of the all-time jazz classics, made famous originally by Glenn Miller. I said there was going to be some Glenn Miller music in here. Actually, originally based on a piece of music by Wingy Manone called Paper Stomp. And I think there was some friction there when In the Mood came out, because it was just kind of the same. And I don't know if that was done with permission. But In the Mood, very, very famous song, very, very well known. What did they have? They had Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, which was based on I can't remember the name of the original song or what it was originally called, but it was based on an English folk song originally called Long, Long Ago. I sang that back in the day. Oh, something right dead center in the middle of my glasses. I sang that back in the day with a choir master who was very big on helping us to understand where the music came from. Sing Sing Sing, or Sing 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 with a Swing, originally by Louis Prima. I don't know that much about that song. I know it, I've heard it, but it's not one I've performed, it's not one I've been particularly in touch with, so to speak. Mele Kalikimaka, of course, very famous song. That was originally Bing Crosby, or no, I don't know if it was originally, but it was made famous by Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters. This one I've done a bit more research into because I'm always interested in language. I think language is really interesting. And Mele Kalikimaka is what's known as a loan word. Well, I guess a loan... Is there such a thing as a loan phrase? Because it's 2 words. But basically, it's how you would say Merry Christmas. Oh, this is my understanding, at least, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong about this. But it's how you would say Merry Christmas in Hawaiian, because in the Hawaiian language, they cannot finish a syllable on a consonant. So hence, Kalikimaka, you couldn't say Kalikimak. That doesn't exist in the language. And there is no letter R and no letter S. And so with those changes necessary, the sort of closest you can get to Merry Christmas in the Hawaiian language, or at least by my understanding, is Mele Kalikimaka. And this one I know has a cute story where the guy who wrote it, Anderson, somebody in his office commented that they're always putting Hawaiian words to hymn tunes, but there isn't a Hawaiian Christmas carol. And my understanding is that that's where that idea came from, which is quite cool. Rum and Coca-Cola we heard a second of there. I was trying to... I kept talking there because I couldn't remember what the other snippet was they sang. It was Rum and Coca-Cola, which is actually a song I really know nothing about. So that one's that I have nothing really to add to that. And Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, as I knew was going to come, was, of course, as I mentioned already, nominated for an Oscar because it was a fantastic piece of music in Buck Privates, the movie. And it's probably, I think, the song that they are best known for. So that is an amazing collection of music, and I really, really enjoyed what they did with it. It's, you know, Jamey never fails, or at least he hasn't in any way that I've seen. And I think they made it their own. I like the fact that they tried to put, you know, you had the gents throwing in a little bit of music there and being shut down. It made a nice little gag in the middle of the arrangement, and shutting down. You know, Mele Kalikimaka, of course, singing a Christmas song in a medley limits it in terms of when it can be performed. They sort of removed that obstacle in a very entertaining way while still paying tribute to one of the Andrews Sisters' more famous songs. So it's phenomenal stuff. Really, really enjoyed that. Let's go back, watch it again, and I'll see what I can pull out. Who's the loving dad? Interesting. They've stuck to the introduction to In the Mood, which is very often played in unison. So you have the da 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 with no harmony being played. But what you often they've skipped the remainder of the intro, which I think makes sense because it's da 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 da, and then you get ba 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 comes in there. So they cut the intro short, which makes total sense for this kind of arrangement. I like that. It gets us into the meat of the lyrics. I think it was a really good choice. It would have worked to do that, but I think like to include the intro, I mean, but I think this just keeps the arrangement moving faster. You don't want to hang in a medley. You don't want to hang too long on more than one song, and I feel like they give their time to Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, so it makes sense to keep everything else moving. Really, really like that. Please let me know who the folks are that I don't know in this. This lady in yellow, I don't think I have seen. I really hope I haven't, and I'm not just making a mistake here, but I don't think I know her. Yeah, there's a couple of folks here. I guess because this is an older video, the composition of the group might be slightly different. Who's the loving daddy with the beautiful eyes? What a pair of lips, I like to try and for size. Lovely use of harmony here. It's quite an Andrews Sisters type harmony going on. I love the fact that they've just kept this just the ladies, because this is the Andrews Sisters, and so that it makes sense. I think it's a very logical way to start this. The men come in later and do have their own little bits where they stand out for a second, but they kind of take a little bit more of a back seat for this arrangement, and I have no problem with that. I think it suits the music. And it suits, more accurate, I should say, it suits the style of these songs that they are going for, because these have been covered by innumerable people over the years in a variety of group compositions. And I think, but they've called it the Andrews Sisters Medley. They are going for that style, and so having the men generally higher, but also having them not in as much, total sense.
With the beautiful eyes, what a pair of lips, I like to try and for size. I'll just tell him, baby, won't you swing it with me? Hope he tells me maybe what a wing it will be.
And it's so, this is one of those moments that really highlights the altos here, but what's the note?
Baby, won't you swing it with me? Hope he tells me
Hope he tells me maybe da 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 da. It's one of those lines that you look at it on paper, and if you're not used to choral singing, or if you've been a soprano for so long and you move down to alto, you've been a tenor for so long, you move down to bass or whatever it happens to be, you look at that line and you're like, oh my goodness, it's interminable, it stays on the same note the whole time. But how key is that anchor in this arrangement? It is such an important note, and it absolutely has to be there for this to work. So they're really holding a solid foundation for this piece.
size. I'll just tell him, baby, won't you swing it with me? Hope he tells me maybe what a wing it will be. So I said politely, darling, may and true. He said, don't keep me waiting when I'm in the mood.
Also, notice that when they come off it, you feel the arrangement lift slightly as they move up. That's another thing. When you have that sort of, it's almost like a pedal note, which it keeps playing the same, or in this case singing, the same note again and again. Da 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 da. It doesn't go anywhere. Da 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 da. When they shift, all of a sudden, I'm not 100% sure what they're singing, but you feel the arrangement lift with them because we've moved off that foundation. And so that's another reason notes like that are so important, because they give us a grounding that when it gives us something, it gives us a means of increasing the amount of unexpected that we run into, and highlights the movement that the arrangement is taking. I really like that.
True, he said, don't keep me waiting when I'm in the mood. First I held him lightly and we started to dance. Then I held him.
Then I love that the guys come in with just a bit of kind of this percussive, ba-da-da-da-da. It's not a lyric. We're not coming in on a boom and they're holding a deep chord underneath all of this. The ladies, the sopranos and the altos are being left to do their thing, and the guys are just punctuating it and giving us a little bit of a something before they come in a moment with... How did I remember the order of the songs a minute ago, and now I've forgotten them? Whatever the song is they're about to come in with. Was it Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, maybe? My brain is weird. But yeah, these punctuating interjections are just really, really nice for spicing the arrangement up before we move on to the next song.
First I held him lightly and we started to dance. Then I held him tight.
And notice the chromatics. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's these very slight movements. It's very tight. The harmony is tight together. Very, very slight movements, but it's just enough to give a little extra texture to what we're hearing.
First I held him lightly and we started to dance. Then I held him tightly, what a dreamy romance. And I said, hey baby, it's 2:45. There's a mess of moonlight, won't you share it with me? Well, he answered me.
That I love so much. We have this whole series of ba-da-da-da-da. It's the song is da 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 da. It's this very much it's in 12/8. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 da 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 ba 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 ba. If you add in those extra notes, ba 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 ba, it's not ba 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 ba. You don't get that 4/4 rhythm. So this da 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 da, we fill in an extra note. Da 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 da. They're never singing all three notes in a beat, but the guys do da 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 da. Just at the end of that, and it gives it a little extra pace. And then all of a sudden, having had 4 or 5 of those, we get this... Oh, goodness, my notifications. Yeah, you get this sudden rhythmic change. I want to listen to that again. Ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. So there, we're kind of emphasizing, there's a word for this in music, in music. Is it hemiola, I think, where which is what this whole thing is, which is 3 beats fitting into 2. They kind of emphasize that point for a second, because ba-da-da-da, it's ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. It's one of these things where they are singing 2 beats in the time it takes the ladies to sing, or 2 notes, in the same time it takes the ladies to sing 3. So you have this triplet rhythm against a duplet rhythm, it's called, 2 notes. In musical terms, it would be 3, I would say quavers. In North America, it is an 8th note. It would be 3 8th notes from the ladies in the same time it takes the men to sing 2 8th notes. So you have that rhythm going against itself a little bit. And we don't get that anywhere else in this, which makes that rhythm stand out so hard. And it's really, really nice at that point, because you get that as a little interjection right before we finish this next verse. Love it.
Tightly, what a dreamy romance. I said, hey baby, it's 2:45. There's a mess of moonlight, won't you share it with me? He answered, baby.
Is it? It might even be ba-da-da-da-da. I can't quite tell if is there a.
There's a mess of moonlight, won't you share it with me? He answered, baby, don't you know that it's rude to keep my tuna flame when they're in the mood?
And then the men don't come in for the final line. We just leave it back to the ladies again, which is so nice. They drift out of the arrangement for a second, getting ready to come back in after the chorus. And then, of course, we go into this beautiful chorus.
Don't you know that it's...
And I realize I said at the beginning that Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy kind of takes up more time than any other song. I realize this actually is here for a little bit longer as well. Oh! How tight! In the mood, in the mood. You can hear these really tight little harmonies being sung in the middle of that. That's really, really nice. How clustered this is being kept. Very, we're within an octave. We're in less than an octave for all of this, I think, or almost all of it.
So baby, don't you know that it's rude to keep my tuna flame when they're in the mood? In the mood. That's what he told me. In the mood. And when he told me.
This is so nice because this is all part of the same thing. Da da da, ba da, ba da 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 da. But because it's not instrumental, because we have the lyric, this can be done as a fully instrumental piece of music. But because we have the lyrics, the ladies are doing that ba da ba, ba da 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 da, and they are allowed to focus on that section because the guys are coming in with the ba da, and it's so lovely that at that moment we get a little extra depth. Because the ba-da-da-da-da was quite high, and now we get the sense that, a true kind of deeper harmony has come in and joined, rather than these interjections, which were kind of at the lady's pitch, more or less, or, much more significantly so. Now we drop down, now we open the breadth of the arrangement for this chorus, which is lovely.
That's what he told me in the mood. And when he told me in the mood, hey now, but I was skipping, it didn't take me long to say I'm in the mood now.
I also love that we get ba-da, ba-da, hey now. On that third one, they actually sing something. That's really nice. And the ba-da is nice because they always go up at the end of that, and it leads us back in again, so we know we're not done. I also like the fact that we've seen the guys just a touch for that little bit of humor that we had earlier, but now we're really kind of panning over to them and seeing them as a dual section, tenors and basses together, as we go into them singing their own part, where we've just had this shot. Now we go over to the guys for their section for a moment before we come back again. Really, really nice focus with the camera. We're only seeing the guys when we need to, because they're not singing for all this. Simple, very effective.
Sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
I also like the don't sit under the, and then, or under the, and then you get harmony. Again, we start in unison. It's a little bit of a mirror from what we just had, where we had the ba da 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 in full unison. We just get 5 notes, whatever it is, from the guys here, and then the harmony breaks out. But it's just nice to kind of come in the same way.
Sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, 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 don't sit under the apple tree.
And we only got 4 guys singing. We have 6 guys here, but the 2 basses are hanging back for a second. We've got 1 bass and 3 tenors all doing their thing and keeping this arrangement lifted. We're not dropping too far at this point in time. And I like that. I like the fact that we could have gone full "Don't sit under the apple tree" and gone way down into the deep, so "Don't sit under the apple tree," whatever it happens to be. We could have added in that depth. We haven't, and I like that. That, I think, was a really good move for keeping this arrangement light.
With anyone else but me, till I come marching home.
And I like that we don't hang for too long on that. So I think maybe where sometimes there's just one song that kind of dominates a medley, in this case you've got one at the front and one at the end. We've bookended with longer pieces, and in the middle we have these almost like skits. Really, this song isn't long, Sing 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 isn't terribly long, and Mele Kalikimaka and Rum and Coca-Cola are super short because they get cut off. I like that. We have this middle filling of the sandwich, so to speak, that doesn't take up too much space, and I think that's a really smart move. I think it's almost, the 4 songs almost take up the same amount of time as each of the ones on either end.
Marching home. Come on and sing.
I like that we have the guys in there for that build-up singing a little lower. That's a nice touch, so it kind of builds tension. We haven't heard this before. And then, out the way.
Sing, sing, sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow. Now you're singing with a swing. Sing.
What I love too, the same infectiousness that I felt playing music. As I say, I haven't played, but the same infectiousness I had playing music like this, playing In the Mood, playing Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, back in the day. You can see it. This is what I mean about this music. It's just like it's bouncy. You kind of just go with it, and these folks seem like they're having such a good time recording this, and I can imagine how much fun this was.
Ooh, wow. Now you're singing with a swing. Sing, 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 sing. Everybody start to sing. Ooh, wow. Now you're singing with a swing. When the music goes around, everybody goes to town. But here's something you should know. Ho, ho, baby, ho, ho, ho.
I love the fact that, again, we've lost the guys for a bit. We had them come in, just had a little interjection at the beginning of that. I got caught up in, I'm going to jump back on it because I got caught up in listening to stuff. But again, we're kind of, it's like the arrangement sits, I need to do this way to go the right way. And then just now and then it widens and then comes back up again. And then widens and then comes back up again. And it's giving a lot of flexibility to how the arrangement feels. It's not the same the whole way through. It always is giving us something new, and I really, really like that. I like that we've had that ba-doo, ba-doo, a little bit more percussive, and then you get the ba-doo, and it's a little bit longer, and they drift off, rather than coming off on a percussive note, which would kind of leave us hanging a little bit. They come off on a bit more of a note they allow to die slightly, and I think that's really nice.
Now you're singing with a swing. When the music goes around, everybody goes to town. But here's something
you just see everybody, like the guys bopping in the background while they're not singing. It's just, I love it. That's why this music always makes me so happy.
goes around, everybody goes to town. But here's something you should know. Ho, ho, baby, ho, ho, ho. Mele Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a
I enjoy the fact that we get to see the ladies kind of being like a bit, what is going on? No, absolutely not. And then they shut it down. It's just a really nice gag. And there's no break, just immediately, okay, let's start Rum and Coca-Cola.
something you should know. Ho, ho, baby,
And I like that they take it out of the ho ho ho.
Kalikimaka is the thing to say on a no.
And notice when they're having their little moment, we introduce a little bit more bass than we had when they were doing Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree. We're going a little bit lower. They're taking over a tiny little bit before they get shut down. I like that.
Drinking rum and Coca-Cola. He was a famous
I like that we have that stop. Ba 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 ba. Like the stop is the beginning of the song. Really, really nice arrangement work here, Jamie. This is fantastic. I love it.
He was a famous trumpet man from out Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was the top man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft.
I love that we've come down a little bit here. The altos are feeling a little bit richer. We've got we're kind of exploring range as we go through the song, but we're not just doing it by adding sections. We're actually doing it by taking the sopranos and altos now and bringing the register down just a hair, and it's given us a different tone for this song. That's really, really cool.
Man at his craft. But then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blower reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. They made him blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam.
And we've done the same thing. We've brought in 4 guys and they're at a higher register. So they're a little closer to where they would normally sing, but I love the fact that we're keeping it up there. We've still got that same feel that we had with... at the beginning of the thing, where everybody came in that little bit higher. We're keeping that lift in this arrangement. It's really lovely.
Blow a bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next hit of cap went out and dropped to the band. And now the company jumps when he plays reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He puts the boys to sleep with Boogie every...
Lovely, lovely key change at that point. I really, really like that. Just do, and we're in. Just so slick, so smooth, and it's just you don't. It doesn't feel abrupt, and yet at the same time you're like, whoa, when did we end up here? It's the surprise element is perfectly managed to not feel clunky.
He's the boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. He puts the boys to sleep with Boogie every night and wakes them up the same way in the early bride. They clap their hands and stamp their feet because they know how we play.
I really, really like that too. Again, they clap their hands and stamp their feet, which is a very rhythmic, percussive thing to do. You know, if you're clapping along to a thing, you are providing percussion of a sort. If you're stamping feet, you're providing percussion of a sort. So, and stamp their feet.
Early bride, they clap their hands and stamp their feet.
And stamp their feet. We've taken rhythmically... We're rhythmically out of where we were for a second. We've got that bum, 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 bum. Very percussive for just a second. Really nice way of kind of vocally representing, the kind of feel that you get when that happens when something's being played.
Because they know how he plays. When someone gives him a beat, it really breaks it up. When he was reveille, he's a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A root, a toot, a tooty, a toot. He blows an 8 to the bar.
This is really, really nice. I like this a lot. This kind of shift between having something that sounds a little more instrumental from the lyrics with the root, the toot.
Really breaks it up when he was reveille.
Oh, the da ba da 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 da, and at the same time we've got underneath that.
He plays when someone gives him a beat, it really breaks it up.
Brings it up.
When he was reveille.
Oh, who is it? Somebody's going down, and anyway, I won't spend too long on it, but someone's going up slightly, someone's coming down slightly. There's a nice shift in the chord there.
He's a boogie woogie bugle boy of Company B. A root, a toot, a tooty, a toot. He blows an 8 to the bar. In boogie rhythm, he can't blow a note unless the bass and guitar is playing with him. And
It's so nice what we're doing here. It's become a little more instrumental because that's what the lyrics are saying. He blows an 8 to the bar. We're talking about the music that he is producing here in more detail than just saying he wakes them up with music. We're getting a little bit more here, and so they've done that with the arrangement. Again, fantastic work, Jamie. The singing in this, I keep talking about stylistic choices, but the singing in this, Voctave is always incredible, and they have nailed this so well. The sound is amazing. the ladies are getting such a chance to show off in this, and I think that's one of the things I enjoy about Voctave's music, is they give people a chance to shine in different songs. We've had moments where the guys shine, we've had moments where the ladies shine, and this is a real standout for the sopranos and the altos. And I think what's so nice for me in this is that it's a standout for them both at the same time. Even while the sopranos are singing the melodies, you can hear the work that the altos put in to hold that together underneath. That really, really shows off, and I think that's one of the things I'm enjoying so much about this. Oh, so much to love with this ending. My goodness, let's go back on this for a second. I like what they do there. They bring in, we don't shift entirely to the gents. Some of the ladies stay singing. You'll notice Kate stops for that second Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy. I'm not sure if anyone else did. Tiffany definitely carried on singing. But we shift a little bit, and because we've been so high, dropping out that highest note makes a difference. You don't have to shift down an entire section or go from ladies to gents to completely change the sound of something and give us a different feel. We can just clip the top for a second, and it will be a noticeable difference. Oh, that chromatic descent. That is so, those chords are so crunchy. But the boogie woogie bugle boy, that lovely chromatic descent there, it's just adds so much texture in 4 chords. Because it's a style of singing in this we haven't quite heard done that way. And it's, wonderful stuff. It draws so much attention to the notes for a second. Really good. I love that we have until the very last note before we get a real high Kate note too. It's nice because it keeps that arrangement tight. The Andrews sisters were all about close harmony, and so she's in that mix with everybody else, and only at the very end, what was that? That was not the tonic. Ba, ba. There we go. I don't know what note just came out of me. But it keeps it sounding consistent and holistic, but still allows that little show off on the final note. Nice work here in the arrangement as well. I like that the guys come back in on boy there, boy of company. It allows a little bit of a change in what we're listening to. It's not boogie woogie bugle boy, the boogie woogie bugle boy, the boogie woogie bugle boy, the boogie woogie bugle boy. We don't do it 4 times. The 4th time they come back in differently. And I like that we have that da from the ladies over. You almost don't hear it because you're listening to the guys sing that final boogie boogie bugle boy of company B. It draws your attention in 2 different directions at once, depending on which bit you're listening to. And that, I think, is one of the things that Jamey has mastered so very well, especially with the number of people that are involved in these arrangements. He can have so much going on, and you don't feel like you're being distracted, even if you're not hearing everything all at once. And I really like that. Boy of company, boogie woogie bugle boy of company B. Yeah! And even while Kate sails up into the rafters at that point in time, the guys aren't super low. There's no one doing a yeah at that point in time. We're keeping the whole arrangement still on that lifted side. Yes, they had their little interloper moment where they dropped a little lower while they were trying to steal the show. And then when it got stolen back, they went right back up there, and we carried on keeping it in that upper register. And I really, really like that. I think this is such a well put together piece of music, performed as always in stunning fashion by these singers. And as I say, I don't know all of them. I think I recognize 8 people here. But the work that they put in to make this so tight, so beautifully harmonized. I have so much respect for what Voctave does, and this was a perfect medley for their style. Really, really enjoyed that. It's such timeless music, and to have it done by a group that can put so much respect into where it came from and at the same time do their own thing, and that's priceless. It's wonderful stuff. Thank you very much for watching this with me. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope I managed to give you a little bit of some sort of insight into something, whether I introduced you to some of this music if you've never heard it before, or to Voctave if you've not seen them before. I did not say it before the video, but the original for this is in the description. Please do check it out. And do check out Voctave if you haven't heard them before. They are quite incredible. Or maybe you know this back to front, and now you're going, but I didn't hear that one thing, and I really like that now that I know it's there, or something like that. That's what I want to do with this channel, is I want to not just react to the music, but I want to try and bring something additional to those of you who know it, and what have you. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So if I've achieved any of that, I am a very happy man. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would care to support me, you can head to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts and leave a donation for any value. You can head to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, where I have 2 tiers. There's not much, no sort of bonus stuff on there right now. It's just for those who would like to support me in the longer term, but it does give you access to my Discord channel. Or you could leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those very gratefully appreciated if you would choose to do so. That's it for this week. I will be back with more things next week. Thank you very much for joining me, especially if you're still here at the end of the video. I hope that you have an absolutely marvellous remainder of your day, whatever that comprises of, whether it's just the evening or whether you've got the whole day ahead of you. Have an absolutely marvellous time. If it happens to be, let's say, 3:27 p.m., a special hi to you. Take care. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.